It is not the first time that such a region has sought independence. But what things do you need to become an independent state? BBC World Services has looked into how it might work. You can't be a real country unless you have a beer and an airline. So said the rock musician Frank Zappa. There's an incredible amount of economic development that's taking place. Ties, effective ties, ties of belonging, of identity, of feeling. And also, ties relating to those of practical shared interest. Another essential is that states should have a defined territory, an area within borders, in which it is sovereign. Stable and effective government is another criterion of statehood cited by many. The ability to conduct relations with other states is another key element. So sovereign states are free to enter into relations which are bilateral, where, for example, two countries agree to diplomatic relations or work together to solve a common problem, or multilateral, as part of the EU, for instance, or as signatories to international climate change agreements. Underlying this is the understanding that a sovereign state is neither dependent on, nor subjected to, any other power or state. So how do would-be states become true states? Individual countries can recognize each other, but the big prize is recognition as a state by the United Nations. The benefits are legion: the protection of international law, access to loans from the World Bank and the IMF, control over borders and greater access to economic networks and mechanisms. On 1 October, Catalonia held an unofficial vote to determine whether or not the region should break away from Spain to become an independent state. Then Somaliland unilaterally declared independence. There's a remarkably strong government, explains Rebecca Richards. Plus the protection afforded by trade laws, making it easier to create trade agreements. But can you be unrecognized by the UN and still be a state? Essentially, it's the old adage, if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it is a duck, explains Rebecca Richards, a lecturer in international relations at Keele University. The definition of a people is much disputed, but some might argue that it means a permanent population with a concept of, and belief in, their own nationality. As James Irving, who teaches international law at the London School of Economics, LSE, puts it, are there. But actually, international law experts are much more likely to identify four main facets of a state: a people, a territory, a government, and the ability to conduct relations with other states on a sovereign basis. It's had a series of democratic elections. It's peaceful. It's stable. We recognize that it is state-like, it's just lacking that recognition. Somaliland is a case in point. A former British protectorate in East Africa, it was independent for 4 days in 1960, before it joined up with Italian Somalia. It remained part of Somalia until the government there collapsed in 1991.